forecast for today. We'll see increasing cloud cover throughout the day. An afternoon high around 86. Tonight, probably cloudy, then a chance for showers and storms late, below around 66. And tomorrow, for the 4th of July, a chance for showers and storms in the morning, and probably sunny, with the high around 81. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, future Hall of Famers. It's three-time national champion Rashawn Jackson here to let you know about the Youth Running Backs Camp held on July 6th at the Lincoln Sports Foundation. Come learn from some of the biggest names in football of the state, including Amir Abdullah, Amon Green, Terrell Farley, Demorne Pearson-Nell, Derek Pearson, Jay Foreman, Todd Euler, Kenny Bell, and myself. And get a free t-shirt with sign-up. Please visit theticketfm.com to register. That's theticketfm.com to register. Space is limited, so don't miss your chance. See you there, and go Big Red.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and healthy 4th of July weekend. They are thankful for this great nation and celebrate our independence, which should never be taken for granted. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln. Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and right now they are offering huge, and I mean huge discounts at Koppel. Get over $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing on select Sierras or Silverados. Plus, Costco members receive another $1,000 off. Yes, that's happening right now in Louisville. $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing. You pick what works for you. Costco members, please contact us at the store or at CoppelCars.com. All deals with approved credit must trade and finance.
Play ball! Tired of the same old routine? Then bring your crew out to Haymarket Park for a thrilling season of Lincoln Salt Dogs baseball and unleash the fun. Enjoy action-packed home games all week long from May through August. It's the perfect change-up to the typical family night or makes for a home run outing with friends and coworkers. Experience the magic and get in on the excitement. Visit saltdogs.com to secure your tickets now. Unleash the fun.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I am a huge guy.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Good afternoon. Welcome in. It's the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Rico with you. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How's the day, man?
So far, so good.
Why do you got to do that? Why can't you just...
Because you asked me the question as I'm leaning away,
But I want to answer the question so that people know. So I just yelled it.
You know, though, that I have this routine.
I know you have a routine.
And so why would you do that
Because
when you
I just
know
want to make sure that your face is on the screen.
I just didn't know.
People want to see the Love Doctor.
That is what they call me. The Love Doctor.
The Love Doctor.
You can check it out on the Omaha Storm Chaser social media if you need to. They're expecting 12,000 plus at Wednesday night's game.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
Very nice.
402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, and the Starter Heyman text line open for you. I just didn't know. I felt like the yelling was a little unnecessary, Rico.
I just had to answer the question, and
you could have leaned back over to the mic.
No, because
said
I was
so far so good, and then leaned back over.
I was in the process of moving your camera so everybody can see your gorgeous face, and I had to answer the question immediately.
Thank you. I appreciate you answering the question. Once again, 402-464-5685, Honda of Lincoln hotline, and the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys the entire show today, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Allo Channel 961. All places for you guys to get in touch with the program. If you so desire, today got a good one lined up for you. We're going to talk a little Husker football to start here in just a moment. At 1:30, we will have Reagan Cooper of the Omaha Supernovas. Now, you might not be familiar with that name. If you watched any of the Pro Volleyball Federation last season, you were, because she was Rookie of the Year
beast
for the Pro Volleyball Federation and for the Columbus Fury last year. Well, she, the daughter of former Husker football player Reggie Cooper, she is signed with the Omaha Supernovas. Reagan has, not Reggie, obviously.
No.
So
maybe. I don't know.
No, probably not.
You think Reggie can get up?
Probably, but not for the volleyball team.
I don't think his 4-to-4 shots as good as Reagan's.
Probably not. We saw her play a couple of times last year.
Yes.
Very, very good.
Yes, again, for the Columbus Fury, one of the better outsides in the league. Again, Rookie of the Year. And she's actually, her and a teammate of hers, a very familiar name for volleyball fans in the state of Nebraska, Caitlin Horde, both signing with the Omaha Supernovas. So
yeah,
Columbus Fury, middle and outside, signing with Omaha. We will have Reagan on here at 1:30.
Yeah, so Reagan will join us here in a little bit. Averaged over 4 kills per set this last season in the Pro Volleyball Federation. So got a really cool story there for Reagan. So we're excited to talk to her, have her on the show. Probably potentially her first interview since signing with the Supernovas.
Possibly.
I would imagine.
I think so.
I would imagine. So
we'll
dive into that at 1:30 today. Then in the final segment in the crossover with Strick and Austin, we have to talk NCAA lawsuits. Mario Chalmers has announced that, hey, I'm going to sue the NCAA for some of their promotional messages that include my shot that he hit in the national championship game, his moments as a Kansas Jayhawk. Well, now he's suing the NCAA, and that just adds to the running tally of lawsuits that the NCAA is having piled up against them. It looks like an O'Hare airport during a winter month, where in planes and during a blizzard, where planes are just docked, and there's so many of them. That's what the NCAA feels like with their lawsuits right now. There's so many of them. And more than likely, Mario Chalmers and whoever else is on the lawsuit is probably going to get some dinero out of it. So
just hanging out.
We'll dive into there in the final segment. First off, and once again, 402-464-5685. We're less than 2 months officially from Nebraska football season opener against UTEP. Obviously, UTEP on the 31st of August, Colorado on September 7th, and September 14th against Northern Iowa. That is Nebraska's non-conference schedule. And I think starting out, we talked defense earlier in the week on the show. I think it's time we talk about the offense. And most importantly, I think such a unique question this season for Nebraska football is, what does the rushing attack look like for the Huskers on offense? And Marcus Satterfield and obviously Glenn Thomas as the quarterback's coach and EJ Barthel as the running backs coach. Don't forget, last year, Nebraska's leading rusher was Heinrich Harburg. In terms of net yards, Heinrich Harburg was Nebraska's leader with 477 rushing yards. As a quarterback, Anthony Grant, who is no longer on campus, was second with 413 net rushing yards.
And that's with missing a few games.
It is, because he was benched because of fumble issues.
Yeah, because he couldn't hold on to the ball.
Third, Emmett Johnson, 411. And then it's a steep drop-off to Gabe Ervin, 196, Jeff Sims with 189, Chubba Purdy, 180. A lot of those came in the Wisconsin game.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Fleeks with 130 rushing yards on 17 attempts.
A lot of that came on the one run against Michigan.
You're right. And lastly, Ramir Johnson, 65 rushing yards on the season. You look at those numbers, and we can pick it apart in two ways. First, yikes. You have your leading rusher, once again, 477 yards. Second is your quarterback that didn't start the season as the starter was the guy that led your team in rushing. 477 yards from Heinrich Harburg. Once again, does not count. I mean, college doesn't take into account sacks.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Grant, 413. Emmett Johnson, 411. So now you look at this year and say, okay, who's going to be playing significant time? Sure, Heinrich Harburg could see the field. That's not, there's not a long shot of that. But we expect Dylan Raiola to obviously be the starting quarterback, the starting signal caller. And if that's the case, then the guy that's going to get the most reps or expected to get the most reps in terms of rushing is Emmett Johnson, who had 411 yards last year.
Who, again, was not the starter to begin the season and only got the starting position due to injuries and his play on the practice field, obviously, but a lot of injuries and getting benched because of fumble issues led to Emmett Johnson getting more play as the season went on.
So in Gabe Ervin Jr. obviously is one that's interesting because so Gabe,
always an interesting name,
always injured, it feels like, but averaged 4.7 yards per carry last year. In 22, he averaged, 4.7 yards per carry in 22. In 2021, he averaged 5.2 yards per carry, did Gabe Ervin Jr. And I think this conversation maybe is more applicable this year than it has been in years past because we've talked extensively in years past about, the running game's got to be better. And they need to figure out a way that to get a running back involved. But you've always had that conversation in years past, in recent years, frankly, since the start of 2018 when Adrian Martinez got to campus, that you knew that the quarterback run game was going to be an element of it. The starting quarterback run game. This year, it might look a little different to where we see Heinrich Harburg sub in, and we have some vision of quarterback run game in the form of a backup quarterback, similar to Taysom Hill in New Orleans. But Dylan Raiola is probably not going to run a whole lot.
He's still going to run, but not to the
It's
level.
not to say he can't run.
Not to the same level as the quarterbacks that you've seen take the field for Nebraska the last few years. He is the plan, more than likely, for Dylan Raiola is to have him sit in the pocket, evade pressure when necessary, but most of the time keep his eyes down the field and get the ball to the playmakers. He's not going to, or at least they're hoping he's not going to sense pressure and immediately tuck and run.
I think there's a lot to this conversation, and probably not enough that we're going to be able to get it in the next 5-10 minutes. But ultimately, I mean, I could scroll through even a team like USC. In Marshawn Lloyd last year led the team with 820 yards.
And that's a team that passes the ball a lot more.
Continuing to look around teams in the Big Ten Conference. Kyle Managai from Rutgers, 1,262 rushing yards last year. He comes back. Braylon Allen's gone. Ches Malusi is back, 407 yards last year. Roman Hemby, he's back for the Maryland Terrapins, 780. Even Washington, Jonah Coleman is going to be their guy, averaged 7.1 yards per carry last year. Indiana Hoosiers, 554. Illinois, let's see, Caden Fegan, 638 rushing yards last year. UCLA had 3 guys over 700 yards last year. Minnesota, 2 guys over 600 yards last year. Northwestern, 2 guys over 600 yards last year. Michigan State, Nate Carter, he returns 898 yards last year. Devin Mockabee comes back for Purdue, 807 yards last year.
Crazy legs.
It's not that you need a 1,000 yards rusher. I think we get so infatuated with this 1,000-yard rusher and that number. Sure, it's great. And Rutgers' guy who had a little over, just under 1,300 yards, led the Big Ten Conference in rushing yards last year. It's great to have that, but ultimately, you don't need it to be successful. Nebraska needs 700 from a guy, 800 from a guy.
They need a running back to be their leading rusher. You're not going to survive this grueling conference, this grueling college football landscape if your quarterback is leading your team in rushing yards. It's just not going to happen because of the pounding that your quarterback is going to take. If you get into a situation late in the game where you're going to need him to start slinging the rock, if he's been running all season, he's going to have some nicks and cuts and bumps and bruises, and it's going to take a toll on him as the season wears on. You need a running back. And look, you don't need, like you just said, Nick, you don't need a running back to have 1,000 yards. You don't need that workhorse to get you 1,500 yards to have a successful season. But if you have a guy over 6, 7, and you have a couple guys behind him who are pitching in when needed, that is something that's going to take your team to the next level.
Here's what's interesting. Nebraska,
wherever that level is.
So looking at the offense, the last 7 years here for Nebraska football, their yards per carry over the last 7 yards as a team, over the last 7 years as a team, has never been higher than 4.5 yards per carry. And that was back in 2020 when you had 9 returning starters on offense and a shortened season. Other years, last year, their team yards per carry, 4.4. Certainly not horrible when looking at recent history. 2022, average yards per carry, 3.5. Back in 2017, 3.5. I mean, it has been tough for Nebraska to move the ball the last couple of seasons.
Tough sledding to move the ball on the ground.
And this transcends, coaching staffs. Now, conversely, Nebraska's defense, their yards allowed per carry from a team has never been higher than 4.8 in the last 7 years. You had last year, Nebraska's rushing defense allowed just 3.0 yards per carry as a team.
You'll take that.
The only problem is that Nebraska's lowest average play yards allowed on defense has been 4.6, and that was last year. Think about that real quick. So in the last 7 years, in 2023, Nebraska's defense allowed 4.6 on average per play. Prior to that, 5.5, 5.3, 5.5, 5.6, 5.8, and in 2017, 6.3. You're talking about 2 plays on average to get a first down Nebraska allowed. Now, it got better last year, but when Nebraska's defense got better, their offense got worse last year. And we saw that in the form of, obviously, quarterback issues, fumbling issues, turnover issues as a whole, and a couple injuries, right? Billy Kemp was banged up the entirety of the season, and guys were young. So now this year, you look at the opportunity. This is kind of how I want to close this conversation out. You look at the opportunity ahead of Nebraska. We broke down their defense yesterday, and we're pretty confident in Nebraska's ability. And I think with that, we said it earlier in the week that, we hope that Nebraska's offense doesn't put their defense in so many inopportune situations. And with that, the numbers might not be as glamorous as they were in 2023, but as a whole, from the eye test standpoint, you expect the defense to either be the same or take a step up. And so if the offense takes a step up with the defense taking a step forward, well, then guess what? There's that complementary football piece that everybody talks so much about every single fall.
I mean, there are ways that they can help each other regardless of how good the defense was. They didn't force enough turnovers. Even though they did force a decent amount of turnovers, the offense turned the ball over too much. So really, I mean, Rule said it himself, is that's going to be a very important part of the game, because if the defense is able to turn opposing offenses over and set up short fields for the offense, and they're able to do their job, even to the length of a field goal, that is going to go a long way in assisting the defense in getting even better, which in turn helps the offense get better. It's a double-edged sword. It's a circle. Time is a flat circle. All whatever metaphor you want to use for it, they have to help each other.
Once again, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Hammond text line are open for you guys the entire show today. as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Allo Channel 961. You can always follow Rico and myself on the X Sphere and Nick_Sainer at Radio Rico AC. All right, time to take a break. We'll put a pin there. We'll get to that coming up in the next couple of shows throughout the next couple of days. But it's time for us to talk with Reagan Cooper, last year's Pro Volleyball Federation Rookie of the Year. She played with the Columbus Fury in 2024. Now in 2025, she will play for the Omaha Supernovas. Went to school, Texas Tech, Washington State, finished out her career with the Kansas Jayhawks, daughter of former Husker Reggie Cooper as well. So we'll kind of get her thoughts on that. We got a lot to talk about. It might go a little bit longer than the 10-15 minute slot, but that's okay. We'll sit down with Reagan Cooper of the Omaha Supernovas when we come back on the Happy Hour on 93.7 The Ticket.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
There's that pit in my stomach. I hope that knot gets untangled and untied so that the Royals can be in contention for the playoffs come late August into September. I'm not holding my breath for it, but before I freak out and lose my mind about how bad things are right now, I'm going to choose to look back at last year and remember how bad 56 and 106 felt.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and right now they are offering huge, and I mean huge discounts at Coppell. Get over $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing on select Sierras or Silverados. Plus, Costco members receive another $1,000 off. Yes, that's happening right now in Louisville. $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing. You pick what works for you. Costco members, please contact us at the store or at CoppellCars.com. All deals with approved credit must trade and finance.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
You're listening to the Happy Hour.
We were in the middle of our tournament when my friend John said he found a body in the bushes over there.
With Nick Sainert.
I ran over there because I'm a healing monk to try and help, but obviously my magic wasn't strong enough because the dude's body was missing a head.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
So my friend decided to try and use a necromancer spell, which didn't work, which I knew it wouldn't.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
And apparently we contaminated the crime scene because that spell uses a lot of glitter.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Thanks to our sponsor, Empire Fence and Netting, for their support of the show. As always, Nick Sainert, Rico with you. And now it's time we go to the Allo VIP line. VIP line brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. And we're joined by a very special guest, one of the newest Omaha Supernovas players, outside hitter, Reagan Cooper, joins us on the Allo VIP line. Not just the outside hitter, the PVF Rookie of the Year last year. Reagan, how's things going?
Going pretty good. How about you?
Not too bad. All right, Reagan, I got to get just your overall thoughts on the first year of the Pro Volleyball Federation, because obviously you were a rookie, you win the award, and we'll get to that in a moment. But overall, just kind of put everything into words, if you can, on the recap of 2024 and being a part of the inaugural season.
Yeah, it really just surpassed my expectations. I wasn't originally going to go pro, and so I didn't have any expectations going into this league, especially with it being a new league. I just kind of went in blind with my eyes closed, and ended up being, one of the best times I've ever had in my life. I got to compete against players that I've been looking up to and watching throughout my high school and college careers, like legends. And so it was amazing, and people really, tuned in and watched and supported, and it just made everything so much more exciting.
All right, Reagan, you made a comment right there about how you didn't expect or wasn't planning on going pro. Explain to us then, how did it happen, right? Like what was the story behind that on eventually going pro?
Yeah, so I actually wasn't even going to go to Kansas my fifth year. The only reason I did decide to play my fifth year is because my best friend committed to Kansas, and we were roommates at Washington State our freshman year. It's a long story. So the entire reason I even kept playing was because my best friend transferred to Kansas, and then we ended up on the same team, and I had a good season at Kansas. And, since I wasn't even planning to play my fifth year and just be done my senior year of college, I wasn't thinking any more ahead of that. So I had a better season than I expected at Kansas, and then I was drafted pretty unexpectedly. And I, after talking to my parents and talking with the league, I was like, I might as well go in there and give it a try. So that's how it happened.
Now, Reagan, kind of a twofold question. First off, how excited are you to get to Omaha and play in front of the sold out crowds that they've played in front of this last season at CHI? And then after having a year under your belt, what are you most excited for in your game, at least going into this second year?
Well, I'm super excited to play for the Supernovas, especially after, experiencing the environment that they play in, but being on the opposing side, I'm excited to actually be on the home side of that, to have that crowd cheering for me rather than against me is going to be nice because it's a huge crowd. And Nebraska volleyball in general always draws in those crowds. I've been playing against Nebraska teams throughout my college career, but I've never gotten to, be a part of one. So this is just an experience that I'm super excited to finally be a part of. And then in terms of what I, want to expect coming into this next year is just improving my game really. I was a 6th row back in high school, and that was the last time I was a 6th row was when I was about 16 or 17. So I did 6th row again for the first time coming into last season. So it took a minute to, build up my serve receive and my defense. And, I'm currently working and I want to keep improving going into next year on my back row defense and even my back row attack offensively. So I just have areas of my game that I'm excited to expand, and I'm excited to be in a new environment with great coaches while I do that.
An area of your game that I don't think needs much expanding is that cut shot that you have. We, being the Supernovas radio network, traveled all around with the Supernovas, and we went to Columbus those 2 times, had you guys here in Omaha, and our color analyst Renee Saunders is a coach for a high school team in Omaha, and she would just rave every time you would hit that cut shot about how amazing it was and how quick and again how quick, close to the net it was. Can you kind of explain how you got that shot down?
Yeah, well, thank you. First of all, that's always been my favorite shot. It's always been the cross-court shot, always. And so I've been working on it since my club days, even since before high school. Like, I've always just been working on that cut shot, and I have long arms. So I'm able to reach as far in front of me as I want to get the ball as close to the net as I want. And it does take a lot of practice because in the blockers, since that's a big part of my game, blockers know how to read it. So it also depends on the set, but that is a shot that I have it's always been my fave. It's my go-to. And I think it's just because I've worked on it so much that I'm kind of getting close to perfecting it. So
I promised Renee I would ask that question. So
we're speaking to Reagan Cooper of the Omaha Supernovas. And okay, Reagan, you mentioned the jump from college to pro. Go a little bit deeper on the talent level that's in the Pro Volleyball Federation, because you mentioned like the shots and what's in your repertoire and arsenal and things like that. How much more refined do you feel like you have to have or be every single match compared to maybe when you were in college too?
That's a good question. Well, a big part of it is college has a lot more subs. So, that's why in college I wasn't playing 6th row. I was going just the front row then coming off because we had enough subs to put a DS in for me. But then in pro, there are, not as many subs at all. So if you're the outside, you're staying on. The right side staying on. It's just different because you need to be locked in every game because you're not going to get subbed out. Or there's a chance that we will run out of subs because, you just have to be on your game. There won't always be somebody coming in for you like in college. Another big part of it is the roster. The starting roster is smaller in pro than in college. The roster this past year was 14. In college, I remember I had like 19, 20 girls. That bench was huge. So again, you really have to be on your game in pro because there isn't always somebody that can come in for you, especially if you take into consider like injuries and stuff like that. And the playing level is insane. And I feel like it's just going to keep getting higher because the girls coming in from college now are just getting better and better. So then the league's going to keep getting better and better. And I'm excited to watch that happen.
We're speaking with Reagan Cooper, new Omaha Supernovas outside hitter. And Reagan, you mentioned earlier about finally being able to play in front of a Nebraska crowd that's going to be friendly towards you. On this roster, you're also going to have somebody who you played with last year in Caitlin Horde. Can you speak a little bit on your relationship with her and how it might make things easier being that she did play for the Cornhuskers?
Yeah, I'm so excited. Whenever she told me that she was signing, I was I was over the moon. She's one of my best friends on the team. We were super close. One of the nicest girls ever. I think obviously Nebraska's going to love her. I remember whenever we played Omaha, I think it was the second time, and they were announcing our where we played for, and they said she played for Nebraska. The crowd went crazy for her, and she wasn't even on the team yet. So people really love Nebraska over there, and I think having her on the team is just going to elevate that. And it's just great to come into a new team with a familiar face, and I'm excited. I think playing on the court together, it's going to show our experience together when we're on the court and able to play in front of everybody.
Reagan, you mentioned new group, obviously, and that's new teammates, new coaches, and things like that. As somebody that was obviously everybody had to deal with the inaugural year last year, and there were a lot of curiosities and just excitement, I think. But when you're talking about being able to gel and blend with teammates, was there ever a moment where you were like, okay, we finally are hitting our stride here? Like, how long does that process take, whether it's through practice or do you need a couple of matches to be like, okay, now we feel like we're finally consistently on the same page, playing our best? Talk about that process when you're finding a new team and you're going to be, working with new teammates.
Yeah. As someone who has moved around a lot, I went to 3 colleges. I'm not unfamiliar with, being on a new team. So a big part of it is practice, because practicing is what builds the trust. But even just one match can really make you understand the dynamic of the team and who you trust the most, because the matches where you really have to lock in and trust each other, no matter how long you've known each other. We see it in this league and in other professional leagues, players that get traded, players that get waived, and then you're getting a new teammate, you're losing a teammate all the time. So it's something that you get used to over time, and it's a process that takes a while, but at the same time, it's kind of rushed. You need to be able to trust the person beside you, and that comes with practice. But the true test is whenever the matches actually begin.
Okay, Reagan, this is the most important question. How have you conquered your dislike of flying?
That is a great question, and the answer is I haven't yet, but I am getting better since I've always flown. So it just manifests into different things. I used to be, scared of something bad happening on the plane, and then it was claustrophobia, and then now it's just general just flight anxiety, because it's always made me nervous. I always have to sit on the aisle seat. Always. I don't want to feel trapped by the window. I can do the window seat on an exit row, because then I have more space in front of my legs, and I'm tall, so there's no space. So those are just little ways that I've gotten through the flight easier. But loud music, so I can't hear all the sounds the plane is making. There's maybe one day, but it hasn't happened yet.
All right, Reagan. Now, probably the second most important. What has your dad told you about Nebraska?
Oh my gosh, he was the most excited whenever I told him that I was going to accept the contract and go to Omaha next year. He is the biggest Nebraska Huskers fan. He played for them, is in the Hall of Fame, Football Hall of Fame over there. He has tons of friends down there. He has family down there, so he's excited because I'm going to be able to go over there and be around people that he knows and he trusts. He didn't know anybody in Ohio or Kansas or Washington State, where I was majority of my career. So he's excited for me to be in a familiar environment that he knows, and he can't wait to move me in and show me around. So I'm just as excited as he is.
So on that, what's the next step now? Because obviously from our perspective, this is all new, right? It's the first year of year 1 to year 2, free agency. Then you have the draft coming up in the PVF. Where your landing spot is. What's the next step for you? What are these next couple of months look like?
Right. Well, right now I'm doing PT on my shoulder to get my shoulder healthy. So that's what I'm doing for the next couple months. And then I'm going to get started with training just with coaches that I know down here in Dallas. And I believe we report around November. We haven't got an official report date. So basically what's next is staying healthy, building up my strength, training, just by myself here in Dallas, working up to the actual training camp over in Omaha, and then just going from there.
All right. Well, there you have it. Reagan, we cannot tell you how much we appreciate the time, as always. Welcome to eventually welcome to Omaha. Welcome to Nebraska. We're excited to continue to get to know you, cover you, and over the course of the next couple of months and over the next calendar year or so, and hopefully you're here for a while.
Yes, thank you so much.
There she is, Reagan Cooper of the Omaha Supernovas, outside hitter, was the Rookie of the Year in the Pro Volleyball Federation last year with the Columbus Fury. Seems excited to join Omaha. Her dad is more excited for her to join Omaha in Nebraska, and so we're pumped. Obviously, as the Supernovas radio network, to be able to have Reagan Cooper a member. They've made some really, really good signings.
Some really fun
this
signings.
This year, a couple of Nebraska names also. So there's going to be a lot of fan favorites, I think. That always, when we talked about the Pro Volleyball Federation this year, it was a lot of, getting to know the players, right? Mm-hmm. Omaha's re-signed Brooke Nuneville, or they've signed, former Huskers and Caitlin Horde, Kayla Caffey, Brianna Holman as well, who's been playing overseas professionally overseas in like Thailand and things like that.
Re-signed Natalia Valentin Anderson.
Yes. So there's some notable names that fans will remember from last year. There's a good blend of names that you might remember wearing the Husker uniform. But then you also have some real new names that are really fascinating and intriguing, like Reagan Cooper. Mm-hmm. And she's certainly going to come in and make her presence known. And as you said, the cut shot cross-court shot, her favorite shot.
That shot is deadly.
It's a lot of fun.
There's a lot of power behind it. Another player that they signed that you'll be able to hear later on today on One-on-One with DP, Kelsey Payne.
There you go.
As she'll be an opposite, played overseas for a few years. You'll be able to listen to her on One-on-One with DP at 6 p.m. today.
And on top of that, Coach Bird is back.
Coach Bird's back.
Bird is back
for
another year. So for another year, Coach Laura Bird-Kuhn will be back rocking for the Supernovas on the sidelines. All right,
if you ever see Coach Bird, just tell her that LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan. She'll love it. She loves it.
There you have it. All right, let's step aside. We wrap up today's show with Austin and Strick. It's time we talk about lawsuits, and the NCAA's, they got a lot of them that they're going to deal with, and they found out that they're getting another one sent their way this week. We'll talk about that when we come back and round out the show when we return.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
And influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Hay season is a race against time. Win that race with an all-new 1 Series round baler from Landmark Implement. The all-new John Deere 1 Series round baler is a revolutionary leap in baler technology that captures near real-time moisture and weight data that can be analyzed through Operations Center to improve your bale quality and farm efficiency. Are you ready to upgrade your hay equipment? Contact your local Landmark location for full details on the new 1 Series round baler and experience the Landmark difference.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first.
At Doane University, your future is uniquely yours, and our world-class liberal arts education is just the beginning.
We invite you to schedule your campus visit and experience why Doane University will start you on your journey to your future career.
Learn more by scheduling your personal campus visit today at doan.edu/visit. See you soon.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see increasing cloud cover throughout the day. National high around 86. Tonight, partly cloudy, then a chance for showers and storms late, below around 66. And tomorrow, the 4th of July, a chance for showers and storms in the morning, and partly sunny, with a high around 81. Meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tune in every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. for the Malone Radio Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Don't miss the opportunity to learn about the Malone Community Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln and the surrounding area. It's the Malone Radio Show with Executive Director John Goodwin and Sports Director Mike Hunter every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Does it seem like your clothes dryer doesn't dry like it used to? It may not be your dryer. It may be your dryer vent. When the vent becomes obstructed, it drastically reduces the efficiency of your dryer. Even worse, it can be a fire hazard. Here's the simple solution. Call Bryant. Bryant will thoroughly clean the vent and show you the before and after results. Call 467-1111. Keep your dryer operating efficiently and your home safe. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
NIPCO is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker concrete, and Beatrice concrete. NIPCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NIPCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
This is a house of learned doctors.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
As soon as your eyes shut, I'm going to punch you square in the face.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour. One final time today. Nick Sainert, Rico, Austin Orman, and Eric Strickland. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Great. Happy semi-Friday.
Semi-Friday.
Doing it well.
How we doing, Stricky?
Doing it well.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Are we
LL Cool Stricky?
Are we good?
We good, man.
We good? There it is.
No more kidney shots?
No more kidney shots.
No more kidney shots.
Yeah, we good.
Yeah.
Pause. Anyway, 402-464-5685.
That was good, Nick. You slipped that one in there. Pause.
464-5685. The Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys.
It's off to an unbelievable start right
Austin,
now.
how are you?
Gentlemen.
Doing it well.
Anyway,
What's happening?
Let's talk NCAA lawsuits, because the NCAA was notified, or it was at least released today, that Mario Chalmers is suing the NCAA because over the promotional announcements that they're making for his highlights and stuff while he was a member of the Kansas Jayhawks. And it's just, guys, it's just another lawsuit for the NCAA, right? They've dealt with a lot. They have a lot on the back burner. Now they add this one to it.
they're just going. It feels like they're just continuously going to shovel out more and more money.
I'm just trying to understand, how is there a cutoff date when the one who started it was in 1991, which was Ed O'Bannon. I'm trying to understand why the cutoff date happened so much later than when it should have.
I don't know what to tell you.
Make the math make sense.
The math ain't math.
It ain't math.
It ain't math.
I mean, I'm not good at math, so.
Here's some math for the NCAA. The NCAA's bank statement has certainly been nicked already, per CBS Sports, having faced $61.5 million in legal expenses in fiscal year 2023.
Yeah.
Since 2014, that total is $433 million. Next paragraph. At what point does the membership's patience run out when the association is averaging $1.18 million in legal expenses per week?
Oh,
you're spending
God have mercy.
$1.2 million on legal expenses
My goodness.
every
Can you
week.
cut his mic?
Every week.
This guy is out of control to my right. Austin is dishing out incredible numbers in every single response.
It's like me.
That's a lot of cashola.
It is.
1.3 a week.
1.2.
1.18.
You would have heard that.
Yeah.
I always say no one wins in these situations except the attorneys. And
Billable hours.
It's in every situation. I don't care if it's divorce, business, whatever the case. They the only ones that win.
I mean,
Courts
guys,
and attorneys.
Once again, $1.18 million in legal expenses per week.
Yeah.
What do we think and this is an open-ended question. I do not know the answer to this. What is like the valuation of the NCAA? NCAA,
is it for profit?
No, technically it's still nonprofit.
See? That's
So,
crazy.
Quote
They're
unquote.
They're
so
a unique thing.
okay, here we go. So in 2023's fiscal year, according to USA Today, they had $1.3 billion in revenue in 2023, putting their net assets at $565 million.
So that's half.
Yes. The revenue figure represents an increase of $150 million over the association revenue for its 2022 fiscal year. In 2022, the NCAA recorded net investment losses of more than $72 million in 2022.
Whoops.
2023, it recorded $62 million in net investment gains. As a nonprofit, the NCAA has to annually record unrealized investment losses in its director of accounting. The association did not have immediate comment on the new figures. Not adjusting for inflation, the NCAA's total revenue for 23 represents a new high. When adjusting for inflation, however, the association's revenue was greater in fiscal 2019. So there you have it. I mean, once again, this article was written back in February. It says something along the lines of the NCAA's new net asset total is greater than it was in 2019, even adjusting for inflation. However, the association and current Power 5 conferences are facing the possibilities of billions of dollars in damages from pending lawsuits. So that's going to cover a couple of years.
So Mario and some other athletes are suing because the NCAA is using their highlights on some March Madness promos, correct?
Yeah.
What is going to stop every other athlete from doing that?
That is the exact point.
You know, the women's tournament for softball, for the College World Series, for the Men's College World Series, for college football playoff things, for all of these things. This is going to open. I mean, the can of worms has already been opened, but the fact that Mario Chalmers is going back, because I mean his shot's been used all the time, so it's going to get the NCAA is not going to have any money.
We're talking about the basketball aspect right now, but the reason I think that's important is that basketball is the NCAA's golden goose.
Yeah,
March Madness is what brings in the money to put on all those other events and tournaments, right?
Yeah,
Because football falls outside of the purview, right? The college football playoff is
theirs.
not adjudicated by the NCAA, right? FCS championships and below, NCAA. Division I FBS, not NCAA. They don't get money from that.
So how about this? The NCAA earned $1.28 billion in 2023, with about $1 billion of that coming from March Madness.
So $280 million from everything else the NCAA does.
That is ridiculous.
Just for March Madness.
Yeah,
crazy.
That's 80% of your revenue from March Madness.
I know one of the most iconic shots.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
you're gonna have to
definitely going to
have to
shrink.
take it off, or you're gonna have to pay him.
Those are your options. But then even if you take it off, he's probably going to say you're liable for having used it before.
Yeah.
So let me get a little bit of it.
Exactly. So man, this is crazy. This is crazy. I'm just continuing to read it. So it talks about how money gets divided from the March Madness number, right? Because it's a little under $1 billion. It's over $900 million though.
That's
just
profit.
talks about
That's
how tournament money gets divided in revenue, just in revenue. So in 2023, for example, SEC teams played in 17 tournament games and earned the payout of $34 million per team.
Because you get the units.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Big 12 conference teams were next, playing in 16 games and earned an estimated $32 million. Of course, each conference wants to see as many members of its school, as many of its members' schools in the tournament to raise the payout that it receives. For smaller conferences, that money can represent a major portion of their annual income, which obviously we know about that. Geez Louise.
So the longer they play, the more they get credited for.
Yeah, so the more teams that make the tournament. So
and then the longer they go.
Here's what it says. When a surprise team that is virtually unknown makes it through multiple rounds, the payout can represent a much-needed cash injection for its conference. For larger conferences, such as the ACC or Big Ten, the money is more like financial icing on the cake than a major source of revenue.
So the Big Ten's always so upset that their teams lose in the first round.
Facts.
There you go. There you have it.
It's unbelievable. And guess who's been profiting off of that? Stricky. My brackets have been looking excellent because of them.
Have we ever seen any Stricky highlights? Are they using any Stricky highlights?
Doggone it. You know what?
I think I know.
Tell them, hey, you know what you do? You tell them, take that Mario Chalmers out.
Oh,
put Stricky
I'm coming.
Yeah, there's gonna be an article about Stricky.
Colorado's coming here. Stricky's coming. I'm bringing my Louis.
How about that?
He won't be hard to find.
No, I'm just playing. I'm not coming at Husker Nation.
I'm just kidding. I don't have any Louis.
So just to give more of an idea on these numbers, TV broadcasting revenues for strictly March Madness.
But wait, you just used it. I need cash.
Strictly March Madness. Sorry, I don't always enunciate the some of the letters. For 2023, the NCAA earned $945.1 million from selling broadcasting rights to its games. How about this? Back in 2016, the NCAA signed a contract extension with CBS and TBS, granting them rights to broadcast the March Madness tournament from 2025 through 2032 at a cost of $8.8 billion over that period, roughly $1.1 billion a year.
Come on,
they made that deal back in 2016 for 2025.
Wow.
Imagine if they would have waited till 2022 to make that deal for 2025. You're probably up over $10 billion at that point, just based on numbers.
For as bad as the NBA's TV situation is, the NBA's at least grown. College basketball, is because it's locked itself in such long-term deals, has been really flat. We know how Watch March Madness is. I wonder if the NCAA could get more by putting it up for bid, every 7 years, right? That's why the Big Ten signed that 7-year deal with NBC, CBS, and Fox, not the long-term deal that SEC has with ESPN. That's why the ACC's in trouble now, right? Because they signed the long-term agreement for stability with ESPN instead of putting it back out there on the market, letting inflation kick in, finding yourself more money.
And they're
that's what market
ACC
does.
Somewhat not little. I don't want to call ACC little brother, but compared to the SEC,
little brother right now.
Compared to the SEC, right? We see favoritism, I suppose, on how much coverage is on SEC teams compared to everybody else, and ACC is included in that, despite having a deal with ESPN. Yeah, right. So once again, that was one thing I will say Kevin Warren didn't do a horrible job of, was the TV rights stuff. He made it to where executives, he knew the landscape of TV executives really well, maybe more so than Tony Petitti does, but maybe not.
ABC
That's
and
true.
MLB Network.
Yes, you're right. So I take that back. I rescind that comment. But I felt like ahead of the times when the Big Ten Conference was moving towards a new rights deal, Kevin Warren was okay in that regard. He was fine. Now
it happened toward the end of his time is when this ball really got rolling. So he got it started a little shaky. But then it was the chancellors and such that pushed over the finish line.
He was in the room with the TV exec. He's like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore.
Well, I'm pretty
Let
sure.
me go buy some property in Arlington Heights.
Was it Kevin Warren or was it Petiti that brought in the when he would go talk to other networks? He brought in Fox executives.
That was Warren.
That was Kevin Warren.
Yeah.
That was what I was kind of referring to. Was he made it known like I'm not going to get,
punked.
Yeah,
because
punked on this lingo.
Because the Big Ten was still with Fox, and they was bringing
well,
in Fox,
and obviously minority owner, 49% of
to
whatever
talk
it is.
with everybody else.
Yeah, so basically they couldn't throw some numbers and railroad him out there and basically undercut. Listen, I had that happen to me, bro. It's not a good feeling.
Getting undercut?
I had a deal that was working with
USPS
with the stadium in Texas. I'm just gonna say that. I'm not gonna put it specific.
Everybody look up stadium.
But yeah, I had a deal. Locked in stock to do supply some things.
It wasn't going to be the American Airlines Center. It was going to be the Eric Strickland Center.
It's a little bit unbelievable but that's what happens. Another company comes in, throws out some. It really, at the long run, is not beneficial to you. But if you don't know and you just go with it, just because you know with it, that's just like insurance. I would advise everybody to just kind of do an audit on it before its term's over, before you re-up, because they'll just sign you to a new deal, and there's better deals out there.
Well, and so I mean, we're talking about TV deals. TNT and the Mountain West just agreed to a deal earlier this week.
Woo!
TNT needs help.
TNT, yeah, they do. Can
we get 10 seconds real fast?
Absolutely. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
So yeah, once again, TNT in the Mountain West Conference. I haven't seen a figure on this, but that they've just agreed to a multi-year agreement for a full slate of live college football games to air exclusively on True TV and Max beginning this season. As part of the deal, True TV and Max will present 14 Mountain West college football games during the inaugural season, with coverage kicking off with, are we ready? Drum roll, please. 9 p.m. Central Time, Thursday, August 29th. You can check out San Jose State and Sacramento State on True TV.
Please put Charles Barkley on the call.
Yeah, maybe.
Give me Ernie, Charles, Shaq. Give me that crew.
No Kenny. Don't need him.
We don't need
some of the games: UNLV, Wyoming, Fresno State, San Jose State, San Jose State, Nevada,
Why so much San Jose?
San Jose State, Colorado
The
State.
Tim Miles effect. Wait.
San Jose State, Kennesaw State,
gracious.
Colorado State, UTEP, Air Force and New Mexico State, Idaho and Wyoming.
Idaho.
They get San Diego one time.
San Diego State.
Excuse me, San Diego State.
SDSU.
They have Georgia Southern and the Fighting Clay Heltons against Nevada, Utah State and New Mexico State. So there you have it.
I will watch 3 of those.
Which ones? Rico?
One of the San Jose State ones.
Okay, yeah, because just by off of probability, you're going to land on one of them.
One of the San Jose State ones. Give me the one with Idaho
and Wyoming.
That
is Saturday, September 7th at 3:30 Central Time.
Hell yeah!
That is the week of the Colorado game.
It is.
You'll be fine.
I'll be watching.
You'll have some time.
Go over there. Yeah.
Just
go out to the game.
And then San Diego State.
Yeah, go up to Laramie.
Oh heck yeah!
All right, San Diego State.
Shout out to Clester Johnson Jr.
Why not Clay Helton? Never forget he ended Scott Frost's tenure at Nebraska.
The first game that KJ and Ellie attended was the last game that Scott Frost coached at Nebraska.
Dang.
What's Clay Helton doing? I mean, how's he been?
Living his best
Clay
life.
Helton was 6-7. He's been 6-7 both years.
Probably an improvement for that program.
2 bowl game losses. He lost in the Camellia Bowl, and he lost
what?
Camellia?
The Camellia Bowl.
So Georgia Southerners only
he lost in the Myrtle Beach Bowl.
Do we remember that Georgia Southerners only had a program since 2014?
No,
we do now.
Who was their first coach? It's a relatively well-known name.
Is it?
It is.
Is he still coaching?
He is still coaching.
That doesn't really help.
He's a current Big 12 head coach.
I know it.
You know?
I do.
Oh. Current Big 12 coach?
Big 12.
Actually may have a connection to Troy Dannon. Maybe. May know Troy Dannon.
Don't ask
Come on,
me,
Strick.
folks.
This is all you.
Stricky don't know this one.
I don't know. I got nothing.
Willie Fritz.
Mm-hmm.
Willie.
Willie Fritz.
Willie took them to their first bowl game in year 2. They went 9-3 the first year, 9-4 the second year with a win in the GoDaddy Bowl.
Shout out to Tulane.
GoDaddy.com.
Mm-hmm.
Danica Patrick.
So in 10 years of existence, I guess, 10 years of existence, they've made 6 bowl games.
I need to ask them this.
That program's a wagon.
That is
Austin,
pretty solid. Good.
We need to ask these two the question that we had about the naming rights.
Would you sell your naming rights?
Oh, yeah. How did we phrase that?
what name could you just not use if you're the commissioner? Where you're just like, we're not going to use this.
Oh.
In terms of like
the conference,
the
naming
conference,
rights, yeah. The Big Ten
So
conference
I
presented
said,
by.
I said,
yeah.
Don't name it Pac GoDaddy or GoDaddy Pac-12.
This could be a real dangerous avenue.
Don't do that.
I have ideas. None of them are radio.
You know what Cluster said?
What?
Cluster Johnson said it can't be the porn, the P Hub 12.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's
I
enough.
said,
That's enough of that. Austin, what's coming up on the show today? What's coming
I need to know.
No, I'm done. I'm gonna put the axe
What
there.
name?
You were
I'm gonna-
trying not to say the first word,
and you said it.
The first word.
You said it.
Dang
What's
it,
coming
Greg.
up on the show today?
New
I told
coaching
you to cut his
staffs
mic.
in the Bay Area
Okay.
and in
yeah.
LA. We'll go over that. Predict Team USA men's basketball starting lineup. Report day is Saturday. The theme is America, obviously with tomorrow being July 4th. Who has the best red, white, and blue color schemes in sports?
Okay. There you have it.
New
All that
England.
and more coming up on the show with Strick and Austin. That'll do it for us. Rico and I will talk to you next week.
Yes. Adios.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC. And right now they are offering huge, and I mean huge discounts at Copple. Get over $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing on select Sierras or Silverados. Plus, Costco members receive another $1,000 off. Yes, that's happening right now in Louisville. $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing. You pick what works for you. Costco members, please contact us at the store or at CoppleCars.com. All deals with approved credit must trade and finance.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from a program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Do you have a new address or phone number? Update your info with Powerline, LES's outage reporting system. Visit les.com/powerline or call 402-475-4211 to sign up.
Old school with DP and